question. I mean, that my friend asked today, who is, like observant guy, but by him, we were just talking about more about like, human effort versus, so to speak, having emuna and just davening to Hashem versus like, we're talking about specifically shidduchim, versus like, because his whole thing is like it's a numbers game. You got to throw, what is it, shoot 1,000 arrows, whatever it is. And I said, man, you don't need to do that. I use the principle of, Hashem is where you let him in, the Kotzker Rebbe used to say. So sometimes you could just shoot only 10 arrows and you'll probably get the same result if you shot 1,000. Only because of, whatever it is, mazal or divine, something that was like already, meant to be, so to speak. And but again, it's all on you. So we were talking about that, and then we were talking about like,
okay, if you want to talk about Emuna, can I say something quickly?
No, I'm just saying it to create a context, not specifically Emuna, just to create a context. And then I started talking to him about, Hashem has a system, and then certain guys like us who are obligated under that system, because he asked me the question, how is it that guys who do, commit averos, things you're not supposed to do according to the Torah, still are able to, I don't know, get married, have parnasa?
Because, okay.
No, I know the answer. I listened
to the recordings.
I know, and I gave him the answer, but then so his response was, who are we to, again,
but you didn't give him this answer. I listened to the recordings. I wanted to offer something that you didn't say.
Okay.
People are confused about several things. And I am one of them, by the way, okay? I'm one of them.
Mm-hmm.
We're confused as to what constitutes a reward, okay? And what is not a reward. People think that money is a reward. It's not a reward. People think that finding your shidduch is a reward. It's not. People think having a child is a reward. It's not. Okay? Those are just context. Those are circumstances. And also, people are also confused, and it's related to this.
Can I pause for 1 second? If they're not rewards, then what? So we're just, when we're davening for those things, we're just davening for circumstances, for context?
Yeah, that's right. I was about to explain that.
Okay.
So basically, if ideally speaking, right, if the ideal situation for a human being would be like this. Like imagine every day, right? When you wake up in the morning, it's like starting a video game.
Yeah.
Mario. Yeah. I'm here to collect these fucking coins and then jump into that castle and have that little flag thing go up. That's what I'm here to do. God sent me here for a reason. I'm not going to stick around to smell the roses. This is not my home. This is not what I'm about. I'm here because God sent me on a mission. Let me just do my job and then go back home. That's the ideal. Do I fit that ideal? Hell no. But I'm just saying that's the ideal. I'm just telling you objectively.
Mm-hmm.
Subjectively, I can't, it's very difficult for me to relate to that. But objectively, that's the information.
Yeah.
Okay. So now some people are here to collect 2 coins and then they can go home. That should be like a happy, like for instance, for tzaddikim.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they're like. They're like, great. Can I get back 2 coins? No problem. That means I only have to be here for like 2 minutes. And then I could bounce. It's like going, it's like sometimes, when you have a day off from work and then you get a phone call, you're like, you got to come to the office. You're like, damn, how long? Oh, you got half an hour? Okay, I'll be there. And then they're out of the office. They're ecstatic. Half an hour, it only took half an hour. No big deal. Right? So ideally, if a person has that mindset, then death isn't tragic. Right? Because, this is not where you want to be in the first place.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's more complicated than what I'm saying, because like, why didn't God just let, Why didn't God just make us remember heaven, right? Or
Yeah.
whatever. There's a lot of questions. It's not a perfect explanation,
Yeah.
but basically, but there are explanations. They could be explained. Okay, so basically, a wife, children, these are all just part of the things you have to do here. Okay, but it's not. But not everybody has the same job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like imagine you're what is that guy? Who's that guy that big shot who keeps talking about like high value men? You mentioned him a couple times.
Oh my God.
He has a plane. He flies on a plane. He has his own.
Tate.
Yeah.
Andrew
Okay, that
Tate.
guy.
Yeah.
Right. So imagine that you're Andrew Tate,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You're freaking whatever,
Yeah.
and you're a winner. You have your own yacht. You have your own
Yeah.
plane, and then for some reason your business takes you temporarily to some rundown upstate New York, failed town.
Yeah.
Okay, where it's almost abandoned.
You mean like Muncie? No, I'm kidding.
No,
Kidding.
some like crystal meth town, right? Where
Yeah.
people are really messed up, they're miserable. Those who remained in the town,
Yeah.
they don't have any teeth. They're
Like
standing on their
it's like the
porch.
Ozarks or whatever. Yeah.
I'm just,
Yeah.
I don't want to get specific, Dan. I
Yeah.
don't know why you
Yeah.
got to get painful. Why, bro? But anyway, why you got to hurt somebody?
I'm trying to
all the
give
time?
people. I'm trying to give people a visual.
I think I'm creating a good visual. An upstate New York
Yeah.
town
Yeah.
that's gray. It's abandoned.
Yeah.
Whoever lives there, they're on crystal meth. They're toothless. These are good
Yeah.
images.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not good, but they're
Yeah.
illustrative.
Yeah.
All right. And for some reason, Andrew Tate,
Yeah.
name, has to go there. It's like, it reminds me of Little Man Tate. You know that movie? But anyway,
Yeah.
he goes there because whatever, some kind of real estate deal, right? He does not want, this guy, he's jet set. He wants to be in Dubai, right?
Yeah.
He wants to get back to his harem or wherever he
Yeah.
lives.
Yeah.
Okay. And then and then there's like some lady, who's muffin topping, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Comes out, he has to talk to her or whatever.
Yeah.
And she comes out of her tent or her trailer or something in which a poor person who has very little resources lives in.
Yeah.
Okay. She comes out of that.
Mhm.
Okay. And then, he's not going to want to start a family with her. He's not going to want
Really?
to stick around in that town and start a family with her. My point is, this entire world is that town. And our souls are like Andrew Tate. If that was, do you understand what I'm saying? If that
Yeah.
was revealed, if we actually had access to that state of consciousness, which is true, then everything would be very, very different in this world.
Yeah.
Okay. And like most of the pain, you wouldn't sadness and depression, all that kind of stuff wouldn't be the same thing.
Yeah.
As it is. Okay. So that's the reality. So the more you are in touch with that reality, I don't know how to be in touch with it yet. I guess think about it. Like you remind yourself that this is the reality, right?
Yeah.
So when you contemplate that,
Mhm.
then it does take some of the the bitterness out of certain experiences.
Yeah.
It's like what am I like? I'm freaking. Why am I so obsessed about being rich in this small town? Why do I
Yeah.
have to be the smartest kid in special ed?
Yeah.
That's not a huge
Accomplishment.
not something to gloat over. You just
Yeah.
want to kind of be in and out, right?
Yeah.
Ideally.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to do your job, right? Because you care about your boss, ideally, right? You want to do a good job, but you don't want to spend extra time in a place you don't have to. So that's what
Yeah.
this world is. That's how tzaddikim treated it.
Yeah.
Tzaddikim treated this world like Andrew Tate would treat a poor lady who's obese, who lives in a tent, smokes crystal meth, and has many children. That's about that. Can you imagine how good she looks to him? Not very good, right? That's how
Yeah.
this whole world looked to tzaddikim.
Yeah. So maybe I'm a tzaddik. No, I'm kidding.
Maybe you are, dude. I'm not joking.
No, because here's the thing. I'm not a tzaddik, but here's the thing.
I know.
You know, I talk to people about shidduchim, and what I notice is the one thing that frustrates, you know, people about me. Let's say people who are trying to find me a wife. And the one thing that actually frustrates the women that I dated about me is that I genuinely, truly, like truly, as much as I, you know, I don't know if you see, like, you know, I invest in like crypto, and I'm trying to make my business work, and this and that, and you know, I'd like to have some sort of level of not having to worry about money, because if only because there are things that cost money, and I just want that monkey off my back, right?
Of course. No, I mean,
As opposed to being a person who you know, there's people who love money, dude.
Yeah.
I don't love, I don't want anything to, I'm telling you, I've had this internal struggle my whole life between I don't give a damn about money, like I don't give a damn about making money, and yet I want a lot of it. I somehow want to get a lot of it without doing anything, and that sounds like lazy, but it's not. It's just that I want to have it just so I don't have to worry about living in this matrix. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Or
it's called
surviving
a-
in this matrix.
Now, here's what you're describing. Can I boil
Yeah.
it down a little bit?
Yeah. Oh, but yet I don't give a shit about it. You know what I mean? I wish I didn't have to even give a shit about it. I wish I lived in a world where it didn't even exist.
You're the type of person.
Like some people love it. Some people like, I love that it exists. I love that I live in a world that exists. I want to hustle for it.
Yeah,
You know,
we get it.
all these women that, no, I just want to, dude, all these women that I meet, come on, what's wrong with you? Da, 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 da. I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want a world with it. I want it to, dude, you know, every time I hear that, like, you know, our monetary system is about to explode and the dollar is about to crash, dude, I throw a party. I throw a freaking party. Every time I hear the market's about to tank, I throw a party. Besides the fact that I think it should have a long time ago because I know economics. Apart from that, just ideologically, just as a thing, I'm waiting for that day, dude. I'm waiting for the day where this whole thing burns. Is that normal? Is there something wrong with me?
Yes. But we'll deal with that later. Okay, you're deeply, deeply disturbed. Okay. But here's what I wanted to say. You're a person that you don't like pain.
Yeah.
It's not like you like money. You just don't like pain.
Yeah. And not having money gives me
causes
pain. Yeah.
No, not just you, everybody.
No, I know, but some people just like money.
Okay. Could we just hold on? Could we take one step at a time?
Yeah.
We're right now we're talking about not that kind of person. We'll talk about that person in a second.
Yeah.
Okay. If you don't have money, you're gonna have pain.
Yeah.
You know it, I know it, everybody listening knows it. Okay. I experienced it for a very, very, very long time.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a perspective which no one else in my circle does. No, I've been in financial situation that no one I know can relate to.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's hard. You know what I mean? Like only a person who's been in that situation knows how many dominoes are connected in your life to not having money, like what that actually does, like how that literally imperils your life, your health, your literal life. It exposes you to danger. You don't have the resources to treat something simple. Right? It's like you become like exponentially more vulnerable and in danger. And you're going to feel pain, physical pain. Forget about just the emotional and the psychological torture, but you're going to be in physical pain. If you don't have money, you're going to be in physical pain. So people understand this on a subconscious level and they want to avoid that. That's understandable. That's not the same thing as being obsessed with money.
We're not even. I
No,
wouldn't
like
even say
Scrooge
upset.
Like
Yeah,
Scrooge
I
McDuck, who
wouldn't even
goes
say
swimming in his
obsessed with money.
bin.
That a lot of people, like like the person, the guy, my friends who I talked to today. It's not that he's obsessed with money. He just wants to, quote unquote, beat somebody. He wants to accomplish something. He wants to, the typical thing of women are hypergamous. So he wants to make the money so that he can meet a woman who's commensurate with a certain caliber of whatever level he's at. You know what I mean? Like that typical
Yeah,
thing.
so that's where it goes
That's
into
that's where he's at.
right. So that goes past fearing pain.
Yeah.
That goes into the maximum indulgence
Yeah.
of corporeal delights.
Of the physical world. Yeah.
Okay, you have to be a person on a certain level. You have to
Yeah.
be on a certain level of coarseness
Yeah.
to be attracted to that. I'm not saying that
Yeah.
that I am impervious to that. Like maybe with enough exposure, I could become that coarse too. Everybody, perhaps.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I'm not in danger of that. I don't want to talk like that, but I feel like most of my life I have not been like that, and it's hard. It was most of my life difficult to relate to that mindset.
Dude, I mean, there's such a chasm between, and I was talking about this with a friend of mine, between what seems like, and again, this is something that came as a shock to me when I moved back to America, where I saw such a difference between the way the frum world in Israel, especially like say frum American, specifically Bal Tshuva, but not only Bal Tshuva, people who live in Israel, who made Aliyah, who dropped their whole life, who have a completely different mentality, and the way that so the way that they think about money and wealth, or just Gashmias, versus how frum people in America think about Gashmias. It's such a chasm. It was so shocking for me, and actually I was like quite disgusted, to be honest.
Listen, they know the bottom line. They want to have children.
Yeah.
They want their children to have all the resources. They want to have children in the most comfortable possible setting.
That's for sure, but
straight to business.
Dude, but people in Israel, meaning Americans in Israel who have children, their kids are not sleeping in boxes on the street. So what gives, man? Like,
well, it's
you have to have your Honda Odyssey. You have to have your giant ass McMansion in Muncie. No, you know what I mean?
America doesn't have even a smidgen of the Shekhinah, and Israel does.
It's terrible.
That's the difference.
Yeah. No, I'm saying it's
okay. They feel like, I know, like completely material obsessed Russian Jewish women, not religious.
I know.
Who are like mentally ill, obsessed with material, like wealth.
Yeah.
When they go to Israel, you see, it's like you don't even recognize them. And I'm talking about when they go on vacation. Yeah. It's like all of a sudden, like all that shit on their face, all those like accessories, they somehow like disappear.
Yeah. The clown show that is their face.
Yeah.
Turns into an actual face.
And also the facial expression changes. It's like somehow more serene.
Yeah.
They feel like more at home, like just walking in the market, in the shuk, where they're selling like bananas and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You
see it with these girls. Like I saw with these girls who were like, the raids trip, the Russian Jewish girls who are on these trips. And then I see them back here. It's like totally different people.
The land of Israel is healthy for the Jewish person.
Yeah.
For the Jewish soul, for the Jewish, even physically, much healthier.
Yeah,
if you notice, Israelis
I know.
Are better looking. I'm talking
better looking, they're in better health.
I'm talking about both Ashkenazim and Sephardim. Are far better looking. They're skinnier. They're in better shape.
Also, when you mix Ashkenazi and Sephardi, because you're mixing races.
In principle, I hear what you're saying.
Or DNA.
In principle,
you get beautiful children.
In principle, I hear what you're saying, but I've seen examples to the contrary, so I don't know.
Okay.
Well, but it makes sense. It does make sense. Okay. The point is, I think it's the land itself. I think
Yeah.
there's a certain
What was that?
alleviation of a tension, of
Yeah.
an anxiety, just by being in your own country, around your own people.
Dude, you want to know something crazy, man? I've had moments also where I've had a financial crunch, and let's say I'm like in Israel, like visiting or living there, and I'm in Jerusalem, right? And my parnasa, usually it's a situation where my parnasa is coming from something in America, right? Some kind of deal or something, whatever, you know. And I go to the Kotel, and I go, the Wilson's Arch, the inside part. I go in there. I sit down with a whatever Schadenstein Gemara or Tehillim or something, some kind of book. And as soon as I do that, something. Did I hear an echo?
For a second, I apologize.
As soon as I do that, all of my care about my finances and the fact that I have to pay some bill, I don't know, in a day or two, go completely away. Not only that, something miraculously happens where money that I needed comes out of nowhere. It's happened on multiple occasions.
It always comes from the same place.
No, I know. I'm just saying it, but it for some reason when I go, like I sit at the hotel and I'm just like, I sit down and I have a safer in front of me, and literally it's as if money doesn't even exist. And I have it's like I even feel like I'm like some millionaire who doesn't even have to worry about it. It's kind of weird. At that particular moment, you know? Is it just like Hashem telling me everything is fine? Or everything's gonna be fine?
That's a very specific question, but I can give you a more general answer. Yeah. I'll tell you a story I heard from Rabbi Mansour.
Okay.
He was telling a story about I think it was Rabbi Shlomo Zalman Auerbach, I think, who he sent a letter. Rabbi Shlomo Zalman Auerbach is a very famous legal authority, rabbi.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very great scholar, very knowledgeable, and a saintly person. And this just gives you the mindset of one of these guys. He needed to send a letter to another one, to his friend, another one of these rabbis, one of these like people on a different level. I can't remember who it was. It could have been Aaron Cutler or something like that. Rabbi Aaron Cutler or one of these guys. He and Rabbi Auerbach lives in Israel, and Rabbi Cutler lives in Jersey, in Lakewood.
Yeah.
He put the letter in the mailbox, right? He put it in an envelope, and he just write to Rabbi, let's just say in this, I can't remember who, but like to Rabbi Cutler. And he put it in the mailbox, and it arrived.
Yeah.
So, but I don't remember how the story goes, but he didn't.
You told me this.
He didn't put on a stamp.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't even put an address.
Yeah.
Somehow, he knew that Hashem, he had so much confidence. Like these guys have ruach hakodesh. Like, they have like whatever. They have like they're psychic. Okay.
Again, Hashem is where you let him in. I mean,
right.
So they let him in completely.
Right. The letter got to where it was going.
Yeah.
Okay, whether it had a postage stamp or didn't, he didn't put the right postage code. None of that matters. It got to where it was going.
Yeah.
These guys are like this. This is what they're like. Sort of like they could be completely fine being homeless.
Yeah.
If that's what it was, because they'll be like this. Okay.
If that was acceptable.
they'll take, no, I'm saying that because they're the type of guys that take one problem at a time.
Yeah.
Like he says, okay, I need to sit on a chair. or some kind of elevated surface. He
Yeah.
has to sit down. He's walking. Now he has to sit down. Okay. So he'll find, he'll look around at that moment. He'll see like a rock or a box that is the correct height. He'll sit down. He'll be perfectly comfortable. And okay, that's the chair that God sent. He's totally happy with it. Okay. Or now he's walking and, oh, there's a lot of sun. He needs some shade. All of a sudden there's, some kind of tree or a large vehicle that arrived, like a truck that cast a shadow. He'll sit in the shadow, and that's his shade. That's his shelter. You're saying, like, from one situation to another, he'll look around and see what God has, what God is sending him, and he'll just take it. That's it.
Yeah.
That's how they live their life.
That's how I lived for like a good amount of time when I was in Israel. When I was first religious. Really? On a relative scale, I guess.
I was forced into that life for
so was I.
like 5 years.
Yeah, back in America, when I came back to America, Hashem kind of put me in that. No matter what I did, also similar to what you described, going on interviews, trying this, trying that.
When I just got married, can I tell you the story?
It's like the opposite of Midas, whatever he turned to gold. Whatever I touched, like melted. There you go. You were saying?
I was living in South Beach, so I just got married, like 3 years into my marriage. Starting FIU, everything went to shit. At a car, I went to Walgreens to get something for my wife who needed it. It was very hard to come up with the money to get it. We're talking about toothpaste. Okay.
Yeah.
My car broke down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And there was I can't recall what the situation was, but I had to go back home as fast as possible. Oh no, this is like some kind of medication. I had to go home as fast as possible and then get back to Walgreens.
Mm-hmm.
I think I had to bring my wife because they wouldn't give me the medication. I can't remember what it was, but it was bad and it was very, very urgent. Okay.
Yeah.
It was a serious health issue. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So my car broke down and I was like, I was starting to have a breakdown, and a black dude that worked at Walgreens said, "Take my car."
Wow.
Take my car and go home. I mean, whatever. I lived like 6 blocks away, but he didn't know me.
Yeah.
He gave me his car.
Wow. Amazing.
If I had just been calmer, probably the same thing would have happened, and I wouldn't have had to, I wouldn't have been, losing my mind, right? If I just had that state of mind where, like, all right, God's definitely gonna, he's not gonna let me die here, right?
What I think the losing
story's gonna, if this story is gonna go on, he's gonna send something.
Yeah. I think that when we lose our mind, it's just us saying to Hashem, like, I know you're gonna fix this, but why did you have to screw this up to begin with?
Yeah, I think you're right.
It's more like a F you, man. Like, what is this crap? Like,
it's more like this. Are you crazy?
Yeah.
That's my problem. That's my malfunction. I think God's crazy.
Yeah, he is crazy. He's very crazy.
No,
and he made the world
not.
crazy. He makes us crazy. He makes us crazy.
He certainly makes us crazy. Apparently, he's not crazy. I'm just saying he looks crazy.
Yeah.
If you look at what's going on, did you see that kitten that had both of its eyes dissolved? Are you crazy? Why? What is that? What does that do?
Dude, we came into this, something very simple. We came into this world. We didn't do anything wrong, as far as we know. And all of a sudden, 6 or 7 years go by, or 12 years, and someone's asking us questions like, what do you want to be when you grow up? I have no fucking clue.
Nothing.
Leave me alone.
I don't want to be anything.
And then another 6 years go by. Where are you going to go to college? You have to go to college. You have to. Why? And if you don't, you're the worst person that ever lived. If you don't take this test, to svoloch. If you don't pass this test, if you don't get an A on this test, you're even worse than svoloch. If you don't accomplish X, Y, and Z, you don't even deserve to live. Put one foot in the grave. If you don't get married, you're a piece of shit. If you don't have kids, you're not even a man. Again, this all began. We came into this world. There's this whole 20-something year process where something is demanded of a person who didn't do anything wrong. All he
Right.
did was exist.
Listen, it's what Manus Friedman he keeps talking about all the time. He's like, what do you mean I need this? I don't need this.
Yeah.
He's basically saying it takes most of the pressure off. It's like, don't talk to people who are talking to you as if you need all this stuff.
Or you must. Must what? Dude,
No,
I have
it's
dude,
the
I have
same
friends
emotion.
who are trying to like build a business, and in their minds, if they don't build this business, then I don't know, they think they're gonna die. They literally think they're gonna die. They think they're gonna, like, let's say the thing, Chas v'Shalom, I don't know, collapses or doesn't go. They're just gonna have to go to the funeral home and put themselves in a, or I don't know, make themselves into some sort of outcast of society.
Can I bring dinner for schmucks back into the conversation for a second?
Please.
It's almost like for a person like me, right?
Mhm.
And maybe people that are listening that
Mhm.
don't get it, right? Like basically like that we're here just to do some work. This is not where we live. This is a construction site. It's a cubicle.
Yeah.
Okay. It's very odd to want to build a life in the cubicle.
Yeah.
That you're doing your job. You want to go home.
Yeah.
Right. That's where your real house is, where your family is, and whatever that means in the upper worlds. Okay. Now, some people, they kind of just align with their souls and they just get through their tasks. Okay. And they're happy to go back home. That's tzaddikim. People like me, the soul, right, that's down here that needs to use me, my body, and this, my nefesh consciousness to get its tasks accomplished,
Mhm.
right? Instead of having like a laid back, wise partner in crime,
Yeah.
not the expression, like your partner in what you're trying to accomplish, right? Like
Yeah.
if you have a good partner,
Wait, you
who's
talking about wife
easygoing-
or something else?
no, just I'm talking about the relationship between the soul
Yeah.
and then the body
Yeah.
consciousness.
Yeah.
Okay, so some people, so a tzaddik is completely kind of passive to his soul,
Yeah.
meaning he lets the soul take the lead.
Yeah.
He follows along,
Yeah.
and he's wise.
You mean he demurs to his soul? He lets, yeah.
Right, he lets the soul, right? Someone like me is sort of like the soul has to now figure out ways to coerce me,
Yeah.
into like getting stuff going places and doing things that I would otherwise go kicking and screaming if he told me straight out what's really happening.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like dinner for schmucks.
Yeah.
It's like my body consciousness is the schmuck and my soul is the rich guy that's bringing the schmuck over.
Yeah.
But under false pretenses. That
Yeah.
it has to start like doing psychological tricks with you to get you to do something.
Yeah. Yeah.
I often wonder, I kind of have a love-hate relationship to my soul. I'm like, very often I'm thinking my soul's a dick.
Why?
Because I don't know, it's an asshole. Okay. It constantly is the source of my discomfort. All right. It never lets me just relax and enjoy something.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not supposed to be enjoying that thing. Do you understand? Like I can't, like it spoils any kind of like evil I can potentially enjoy.
Yeah, but what about like just, for example, I don't know, dude. Like even like something as simple as like I remember when I was younger, I used to be able just to like lay on the beach and enjoy that.
No,
I can't.
my soul will not allow.
I can't even enjoy like today these days. I can't. I don't know why. I'm
You don't know why? Because your soul is telling you, what are you doing? You have to be doing
yeah.
something important, do something for God. You're just lying around there,
Well, here's the
wasting
thing.
your time. The,
Unless
spirit, the
well,
soul is anxious because it
no,
thinks you're wasting its time.
unless I get myself or my soul to a place where, you know, the beach is not for me to sit around and look at girls, whatever, who are half naked, but I'm sitting there. I'm just the prime example is like let's say I'm on the beach in Tel Aviv and it's a sunset, and there's like nobody really there, and it's more of like it's Borodus moment. That's the only time where I'm at peace, where I could be like sitting on on the beach, for example, and be at peace.
Okay, all right.
When it's that context, as opposed to, dude, yeah, man, whenever I'm hanging out, let's say if it's like with friends on the beach and like it's like one of those like hanging out on the beach kind of thing.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm so anxious and I'm so like on edge. Yeah, there's like these girls around and like ain't nothing serious going on. Everybody's trying to like, check everybody else out. This and that. It's just not.
It's not bad stuff. It's just not godly.
Yeah, it's not like I'm not judging anybody. Like people do whatever they want. It's just not. Hashem ain't there. Doesn't seem like he's there.
No, he's there. It's
He
just
is there, of course. Yeah.
behavior is not godly.
Yeah.
Meaning your soul will annoy you whenever, like when you make contact with it.
Yeah.
Once you make contact with it, it's like it's like a
it won't leave you alone.
Obsessive girlfriend that won't leave you alone.
Yeah.
And then because it needs you to carry it and get, you understand? It's kind of like the metaphor that's given is like you have like a midget that can't walk.
Yeah.
Right? That rides on the shoulders of a blind giant.
It makes me think of Mitch Hedberg. Was it? He's like wearing a turtleneck. It's like a weak midget trying to bring you down.
Yeah, right. Right. But the soul does feel like a weak midget trying to bring you down sometimes. Yeah. But the point is like in this world, it needs you to get around, right? Yeah. But supposedly we need it because we can't see.
Yeah.
Like we have something to do here in this world. We can't always, or most of the time, can't really see. So we're like the blind giant.
Yeah.
We're the brawn. We're the body that carries the brain. There's a lot of metaphors. Everybody hears where we're going with this. Okay. Yeah. So, but the soul sometimes seems very unwise. I know that's crazy to say, right? Because it's like it's divine and it has all this like loftiness, but it seems very unwise and very insensitive, really, to the experience of the blind giant, the body.
Yeah.
Right. It doesn't have the wisdom. It's like, think about a horseman.
Yeah.
Right. A good horseman knows how to treat his horse. He knows how hard to push it. He knows what its limit is. He knows when it needs a break. Right. He knows how to bribe it. I don't think the soul knows that. Or I think some souls do and other souls don't.
Yeah.
Okay. I think some souls are just like, I think some souls really don't like the vessel that it's in.
Yeah.
And so it punishes it.
Yeah.
These are just my speculations. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
Could be. Or it just doesn't like what it sees around it in the world, and so it takes it out on the vessel, I guess. Or
by the way, one of the reasons why God pairs the body with the soul with the body, you see, we're taught most of the time that it's only the physical that benefits. Meaning it's only the physical that is improved. The soul is always the wise guide, and the body, and the corporeal consciousness has to follow along. That ain't it. I learned more. I
Yeah.
learned deeper stuff. The soul is undergoing rectification too. Not rectification, but it's undergoing training to
Yeah.
get better and wiser.
Yeah.
The soul is not complete, even though it was from heaven and it has all this information and it knows lofty concepts and it can comprehend things that we can't imagine, but it doesn't have the wisdom of how to deal with lesser beings.
Yeah.
How to not be a prick to lesser beings.
Yeah. I know that for myself. I know that for myself.
Some souls
To-
are basically the
To
soul
the point
is also,
where when I express, literally openly express myself to, I guess, people or let's say, groups of people or individuals, it comes off as, I don't know if it comes off as like kind of I'm struggling for the word. Give you an example, like I'm involved with some sort of Jewish organization, let's say, not now, but like let's say when I was, and I see some kind of malfeasance, right? Or people doing just stupid things or bad ideas, bad strategies, if not, at best, it's not effective. At worst, it actually hurts the Jewish people, that kind of stuff. And so, you would think like a normal person or a nice guy wouldn't express himself in the way that I express myself. When I stand up there, in Russian, it's called Krik Dushi. The scream of the soul. My soul is screaming at these people. I'm not screaming them. My soul is.
You know who else is screaming?
I get up there. What the fuck are you doing, you idiots?
Greg, you know who else is screaming?
And they think I'm crazy.
Hold on, you know who else is crazy and screaming?
Oh, your kid.
Rafi, can I go take a look for a second?
Yeah.
Okay, my wife went instead. Okay,
Yeah.
Now she can be mad at me all she wants. Okay.
So, can I continue?
Please do.
So what ends up happening is, obviously there's no diplomacy on my end. There's just blurting out of raw ideas and thoughts, and whomever I blurt them out to never speak to me or invite me again. And so this happens over and over and over, right? So I guess for a neshama like me, I literally have to learn, what they call communication, right? I have to learn how to properly communicate my literal seething rage at the people for ruining Klal Yisrael.
You can't communicate that.
Yeah, no, but no, there's some people that know how to do that in a how, so to speak, non-offensive and effective way.
Non-offensive seething rage? I don't think so.
No, they feel it, but yet they don't lead on that's what they feel, but they somehow are able to communicate the idea that's that results from that feeling in a constructive way, in a way that's like gets some kind of result. I don't know how to do that, or I do know how to do that, but when I do, it just the message ends up getting not muffled. It's just watered down. It's not even the same message anymore. You know what I mean? It just like it's like a dud. It's like falls flat on its face. So it's either I'm just going to yell at everybody, you know,
That
what
always works.
what the blank are you doing? Why are you not taking kids on trips to Judea and Samaria? Why are you, including Reform Jews in your meetings and organizations? Why are you not kicking these people out? Why are you this? Why are you that? It's either me screaming that and never being invited again, or I don't know, not saying anything and just like kowtowing to the party line or whatever it is. I don't have an in between. You know what I'm saying?
I guess
Because
that
even
is actually,
even my in between is a dud.
no. So what's interesting is you're right. It is. We're not a completed being.
Yeah.
We're building ourselves essentially. The combination of the soul and the body, or the body consciousness, right? We're creating a composite being that is superior than either, meaning like basically it's like this. We have our soul, which represents Olam Hatikun, or Atzilut. That means where everything is perfectly balanced, right?
Yeah.
And then you have the body consciousness, which represents Olam Atohu, where it's just, chaos and, okay? So, but it's a lot of power and a lot of passion.
Yeah.
Okay? So you have a passionless, completely neutral type of consciousness, the soul. And then you have this, ferocious energy that is infused into the body consciousness. Okay?
Right.
So what God wants is for us to find a in-between point, a sweet spot, between those two.
Because
there
seems to be a discord between them, in my case, let's say.
Yeah, but what's interesting is that most people think that you have to come to full balance.
Mm-hmm.
No. There has to be some kind of sweet spot within a tension. When you have like a balance, it's not really it can't really be described as a tension.
Yeah.
There still has to be some kind of like tension, because without that tension, there's no passion, there's no energy. Right? So there has to be just the right amount of chaos and passion. God doesn't want a completely neutral, totally balanced entity.
Yeah.
So that's what so that when the soul is paired with the body, that's what we're trying to accomplish. We're trying to fuse essentially two different entities, and then it forms a new one that is superior to both.
Yeah.
And that's the end result. That's what we're supposed, that's the point of this. So,
dude, you know what makes me laugh? What's ironic to me is that the people who normally approach me and ask me to be part of these things that I just described to you, they know exactly who I am and where I stand. And yet they keep asking me to participate, and then the same thing always happens. And then they keep coming, like they keep coming back to, let's say I'm the abuser, they keep coming back to the abuser. Or a habitual line stepper, you know what I mean?
yeah, would you mind providing an example?
No, I just told you, like, these people asked me to run with them for World Zionist Congress. They know that I'm a rabid Kahanist. They know that I have no diplomacy in me whatsoever. Not a shred. Yeah. They know exactly where I stand with everything. They know that I can't even be in the same room with Reform and all the rest of these people, and woke and leftists, and what do they call it? New Israel Fund and J Street and those kind of types. And they know that I voice that. And when I voice it, they try to, they like disinvite me from stuff, or they muzzle me, or whatever it is. And then what happens? Like a few years later, they invite me again.
They're waiting for you to come. Maybe you came to your
Oh,
senses.
they waited for me to calm down. No.
Yeah, maybe you came to your senses.
No, I did. I'm only
And you
getting
have
worse.
such passion and potential.
I'm only getting worse by the day.
No, but
I'm only
I'm
as
telling
like
you,
you know, it's like
that's
my
what they
it's like my
think.
mom says about my grandmother. You know, with возрастом, you know, it's like my grandmother has certain traits, right? She was always this way. It's not an old age thing, but с возрастом it gets еще хуже остается. You know?
Hey, no, I understand that, but I'm just saying, like,
Speaking of old men, it's a good segue into the old men thing. But
yes, but you're the answer to your question, right? You wonder why do they keep coming back? Was
Yeah.
because they think maybe you came to your senses.
they think erroneously.
I know you did not come to your senses.
It's only gonna get worse from here because I'm just my giving no fucks only increases, especially since COVID hit. It's only gonna get worse, ladies and gentlemen. The Ben Gvirness will be on overdrive. It's only gonna get more extreme. Don't you worry.
Crazy.
Oh man. Yeah. Listen, you know, you gotta be yourself. You know, I notice again, people have been trying to make me into something I'm not for years and years. Whether it's family members, friends, girlfriends, whatever. No. In the words of the Japanese president, no.
No,
No.
no.